Ultimate Collectibles here with just a massive piece sitting in front of me. That's what she said. This is the Hollywood Collectible Group scale model power loader from the Aliens movie. So I wanted to do a review on this because I recently picked it up and there's still some available. It's an older piece, but before I bought it I was looking all over for a good quality review and none of them really answered the questions that I had until I now have it in hand. So with that, let's do the review on this piece. This is the Hollywood Collectible Group, or HCG, scale model power loader from the Aliens movie. So this is from the second movie in the Alien installment, which 98% of people watching this have seen. This is a futuristic forklift that's featured twice in the movie, and the main feature of it is in the last part of the movie where the heroine, Sigourney Weaver, actually wears this and fights the alien queen. It's a very, very cool scene. I picked this up for a few reasons. Number one, I don't have any protagonist or hero side, good guy side stuff for the Aliens collection I have quarter scale and I have some third scale stuff coming. So I thought this would be perfect for that. And the second reason is I got it for 33% off. It was part of their 12 Days of Christmas. Normally retails for $1,200. I got it for $800 plus about $100 in shipping. They've made 350 of these in the exclusive version. The exclusive version doesn't have any switch outs. It includes this blueprint, which is approximately, I don't know, 24 inches by 18 inches in size. It's laminated. It's very cool. I don't have no use for it, but it is neat. I do like that they put that with it. It's something creative. So this came in 3 boxes. The first box had the massive base here, which is very heavy. It comes in the standard white foam. Everything was packed very well, so there were no breakages. The second piece has the main torso, so just the middle of the legs all the way up to the top. And then the third piece has, or the third box had the large side arms, the things that come on and off, the little pieces that put it together, the light on the top. So it was fairly easy to assemble. It did come with some very generic instructions, and when I say generic, I mean someone typed it up on their computer, so it didn't look very professional, which when you're buying a piece that's valued at $1,200, it's kind of a turnoff. Spend a little bit of money at Kinko's and get a manual, just my opinion. But I really wanted to, you know, now that I've purchased this, the jury's still kind of out, and maybe I'll make my decision as we go through it, because there's some really, really good stuff and some not so great stuff about this. But hopefully this will answer some of the questions I had before I bought it for other people. So concept and design. Just kind of a reminder, when I talk about concept and design, I may compliment or praise something. It doesn't mean they did good with the details. It just means that they may or may not have executed on something. For example, the paint could be horrible, but the concept and the design was very good. So starting at the bottom, they tried to make this look like a spaceship, and I think the metal part, they did a very good job. The side part, they tried. The execution is pretty shitty. Can you say that on YouTube? Well, I guess we'll find out. I do like that they put a turntable in it because this piece is so massive, it's very hard to turn. Right after I put this together, my 6-year-old wanted to know what movie this is from, so him and I actually put in the final fight scene with aliens, and it's actually pretty accurate. And on a side note, if you think that's bad, my kid watches Aliens. His favorite movies are Deadpool 1 and 2. He watches them all the time, unedited. That's the kind of parent I am. Deal with it. So very accurate. I think they did a good job capturing what it was from the movie. When I initially saw the pictures of it, the legs together, I wasn't a huge fan. It still doesn't look good in pictures, but in real life it looks good. It does look good. The one thing that really pisses me off is it seems like some of this is a little bit of poor quality. First of all, the statue is very heavy, so it's made out of some very good materials. However, a lot of the pieces you have to put together, they barely sit in the pegs. One of the most noticeable parts is in the back here. All these wires are connected to a piece that's connected to a magnet. The wire pole is stronger than the magnet pole. So it actually won't sit how it's supposed to sit, which is really discouraging. And obviously that's something that they just used cheap magnets or they missed in the QC process, but for a $1,200 piece, that's just unacceptable to me. So that's kind of a big turnoff. And you know, some of this review may go a little downhill because when you're putting it together and it won't even go together correctly, and it's such an expensive piece, you just see all the other little flaws. So overall, they did nail the concept and the design. They didn't execute it very well though, so I don't know what kind of grade to give them for that. So next part, sculpt, and with this it's not really sculpt, it's more engineering. How did they do engineering it? And you know, starting again with the base, I think the metal plate is very good, but the sides with the supposed tubing and piping that looks like a spaceship looks very cheap. It's plastic. It's not done well. A lot of detail that was missed. The nameplate is cool, but I personally don't like nameplates. If you don't know where the movie's from, then you probably shouldn't be looking that hard at the piece. It's not as enjoyable. Going up from the bottom, they did a good job making it look like a realistic forklift and power loader. The grooves, the gears, things like that. Some of them look a little cheesy, like toys, and that's probably attributed to the paint, which we're going to talk about. I do like the fact that they used real wires here, real tubing as it would have for a hydraulic hose. So well done on that. On the front here, I think they did a good job with the padding of where somebody would sit, the seat belt, the foot straps. It really looks like it did in the movie, and as it should. The big failure on the engineering of this to me is the controls. The controls look like plastic Tonka toys with absolutely no detail in them. So that's something small that they could have done that would have cost them almost no money at all. And for a $1,200 piece, you better be putting everything into that. So overall, the engineering of the piece, they did good. A lot of opportunity, especially where the gears are and the controls. But I think overall it was a good job. Paint. So starting at the bottom, the base here, you know, if you paint plastic, it looks like painted plastic. So I really don't have any judge on that. The metallic grate here, I think it looks very good. It looks very real. It's very true to the movie, true to the theme, the concept here. I think they did well with that. The actual paint of the forklift is essentially four colors, I believe. Obviously yellow, and then we have some blacks mixed in there, so for wear and stain on the piece. And I think that looks okay. It's kind of dull, and I don't expect it to be shiny, but it's very flat paint, which probably is what it would look like in real life. So the jury's kind of out on that for me. Another color, they have just some reds mixed in here with some of almost look like stickers, which they could be. I can't tell, but some reds on just some warning signs and other parts of the operation. And then the last color is, and I think this is where they really failed, they tried to make it look worn by throwing all these blotches of gray on there, and the gray is supposed to be scrapes or scratches, and there's no dimension to them. So it might be more in the engineering than the paint that they failed, but it just looks stupid. It's splotchy. It looks like a toy, a $1,200 toy. And I keep saying $1,200 because if you guys haven't figured out if you guys have not figured it out yet, I don't think this is worth $1,200. And then obviously the black on the padding, I think that looks good. They did do a good job on the padding. There's no cushion to it, but really there doesn't need to be because it's just a model. It's not the real thing. And then the hoses, the black is a good black paint on that. And then I guess there are some grays that I missed as well on some of the hydraulic pumps and where the hoses connect. But the paint, not the best. Could have been much better. And then the straps here are mixed media, right in the middle. They don't really move or anything, but they are mixed media. So overall, if you haven't figured out, I keep saying $1,200, it's not worth $1,200. With that being said, it is the only quarter scale size power loader out there. So if you have an Aliens collection, you have to have this. It's kind of a catch-22, and I don't really foresee anyone coming out with something like this in the near future. It's obviously hasn't been a big seller for HCG when they can sell it for 33% off, and the ES is only $350, and they still have some left. But it will eat up a lot of real estate as well. Like I said, measurements, the diameter of the base is 25 inches, and then the height is about 33 inches. But it does scale well with other quarter and third scale Aliens. So thankfully the size is absolutely right. So those are my final thoughts. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't watch anymore. If you did enjoy it and you want to see more, please subscribe, please like. I have a lot more coming. Even this week alone, I think we're going to get 3 or 4 more reviews out. So really appreciate it, guys. Take care.